mental health matters. It's a simple phrase, but the reality behind it is deeply complex and, frankly, urgent. Every single day, people right around us are fighting silent, invisible battles. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're walking through some incredibly vital community resources and guidelines compiled by the Guardian Angels Botswana Society, or GABS for short, to really shine a light on something we all just need to talk about more openly. I want you to just look around for a second. The folks carrying this invisible weight, they aren't strangers. It could literally be a friend, a parent, a child, a neighbor. It might even be the person in the room who's smiling the absolute most. Some are struggling with chronic stress, some are battling anxiety, and others are dealing with depression, untreated trauma, profound loneliness, or just paralyzing fear. And honestly, here's the core tragedy that the source material really brings home. So many of these people are suffering completely in silence. Why? Well, because they're terrified of being judged. They fear the stigma. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly what mental health is, look at the very real weight people are carrying, and figure out how we can break this silence together. Section 1. What is mental health? Okay, so it's absolutely crucial we separate two ideas that get confused all the time: mental health versus mental illness. Mental health is really just about how we think, how we feel, and how we cope with life on a daily basis. It's our overall emotional well-being. Mental illnesses, on the other hand, are specific conditions. Think clinical depression or severe anxiety disorders. But the big takeaway here is this: just like everyone has physical health, absolutely everyone has mental health that needs active care. I mean, we wouldn't ignore a broken arm, right? So why do we ignore a breaking mind? Just like our physical bodies, our minds need care, support, and sometimes real healing. Because when mental health gets ignored, it doesn't just stay neatly tucked away in our heads. It ripples outward. It messes with our closest relationships, it derails school, it impacts our work, and it fractures families. It even shows up as physical symptoms. And remember, this can affect absolutely anyone. Young, old, rich, poor, male, female, mental health challenges do not discriminate. Section 2. The weight we carry. We need to talk about the crushing burdens people are actually carrying out there. In our communities, so many folks are facing impossibly difficult situations that directly trigger mental health crises. We're talking about the heavy stress of unemployment, the trauma of family problems and abuse, the relentless pressure of poverty, and, peer pressure among the youth. The source material also heavily points out substance abuse, the specific and painful stigma surrounding HIV and AIDS, and the deep emotional toll of grief and loss. These are the kinds of struggles that can leave someone feeling entirely hopeless and totally isolated. So how do we actually know when someone is crumbling under all that weight? You've got to watch for specific warning signs. Emotionally, you might notice constant sadness, hopelessness, or just sudden uncharacteristic anger out of nowhere. Behaviorally, keep an eye out for folks withdrawing from family and friends, or a sudden reliance on drugs or alcohol. Physically, things like really poor sleep or drastic changes in eating habits are huge red flags. And this is absolutely critical. Crisis indicators like any thoughts of self-harm or suicide require immediate action. Catching these signs early and stepping in with support really can help people recover and get back to living healthy lives. Section 3. Breaking the stigma. There's a quote here that really hits the nail on the head. Sometimes people hide their pain because society tells them to be strong. You guys, this is a massive societal failure. The pressure to just tough it out forces people right into hiding. But suffering in silence like that, it's incredibly dangerous. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. Emotional pain is very, very real. Feeling it is not a weakness. People living with mental health challenges absolutely deserve love. They deserve support, understanding, and safe access to professional help. So, what can you do right now? Well, you can learn to listen without judging. I know it sounds almost too simple, but offering a safe, totally non-judgmental space just to hear someone out, that is profound. Sometimes a simple, caring conversation can literally save a life. Section 4. Caring for your mind. The Guardian Angels Botswana Society outlines some really healthy, structured ways we can actively care for our minds. First up, talk to someone you trust. Seriously, get those heavy emotions out of your head. Next, rest and exercise regularly. Your physical health and mental health are totally linked, so taking care of your body through fitness and getting good sleep directly supports your brain. Plus, taking a little time to pray or meditate or just intentionally hanging out with positive people can massively lift your emotional state.
Number 3, avoid drugs and alcohol. They might mask the pain temporarily, but they usually make the underlying anxiety or depression so much worse. And finally, seek professional help when you need it. Whether it's a counselor, a psychologist, or a clinic, never, ever be ashamed to ask for professional help. Trust me, asking for help is actually the ultimate sign of strength.
Section 5. Community support and healing.
Now, this is where incredible grassroots organizations step in. This whole message and the vital community guidelines we're exploring today are actually brought to you by the Guardian Angels Botswana Society, or GABS. Through their wellness education program, they are on the ground actively promoting awareness, healing, hope, and true community well-being. And just look at the amazing structured initiatives they've developed to tackle this crisis head-on. They run men's mental health sessions, creating safe dialogue circles to break that toxic stigma that tells men they can't show emotion or talk about stress. They've got youth empowerment clubs tackling social media pressure and self-esteem. They run these wide-scale anti-stigma campaigns. They facilitate deep trauma and grief support groups. And they even do school outreach programs focused on bullying prevention and exam stress. I mean, this is proof that real, structured support systems are out there right now and that community action actually works. So, what's the big takeaway for all of us here? Let's create safe spaces where people actually feel heard and supported. Let's make a conscious choice to encourage kindness instead of judgment. Let's proactively teach our kids that feeling complex emotions is completely normal. And most importantly, let's remind one another that no matter how dark things get, healing is entirely possible. No one should ever feel like they have to walk this path alone.
Your life matters. Your voice matters. If you are hurting right now, please speak up.
And if you see someone struggling or, if you just haven't checked in on a friend lately, reach out. Extend that hand. Support one another. Together, we really can break the silence. Together, by choosing empathy over judgment every single time, we can build stronger, much healthier communities. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to reflect on today. Who around you might be fighting a silent battle right now? Go check on them. Really listen to them, because mental health matters,